Economist Peter Schiff is accusing Trump of starting the Iran war to pin the blame on a recession that was already imminent. So keep in mind that Schiff is one of the economists who predicted the 2008 recession back in the day. If you remember, if you were there, if you know, you know. He wrote on X, since the economy was going to be in a recession with high inflation when voters cast their votes in the midterm elections, perhaps Trump realized that a war with Iran would be the best way to divert blame and get voters to accept the economic plan as a needed sacrifice to win. We are headed for a full-blown financial crisis. February import prices spiked 1.3%, while export prices surged 1.5%, annualizing to inflation rates of 16.8% to 19.6%. That's before oil rose 50%. Unless the Fed raises rates several hundred basis points now, inflation will skyrocket. And we can't wait for that. Other economists are reporting increasing odds of a recession as well. Moody's Analytics model has raised its recession outlook for the next 12 months to 48.6%. Goldman Sachs boosted its estimate to 30%. Wilmington Trust has the odds at 45%, while EY Parthenon has it at 40%, with the caveat that those odds could rapidly rise in the event of a more prolonged or severe Middle East conflict. And in normal times, the risk for a recession in any given 12-month span is just around 20%. Okay. That is not all, but it's also so frustrating because they're saying, oh, maybe we're about to have a recession. People are already struggling for all intents and purposes. We're in a recession right now. The only reason why we're not technically is because of the stock market. It's all a big Ponzi scheme. The American people cannot afford things as it is, and the jobs are not good. And speaking of jobs, the job market has been down bad since the beginning of 2026 and arguably even before that. But with the uncertainty surrounding the Iran war on top of everything else, things are only getting worse now. According to the most recent data from the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, you can take a look here, employers are hiring at their lowest rates since 2013, and that is not including during the pandemic. Also, employers are getting laid off, at a historically low, their employers are laying off workers, that's what it is, at a historically low rate, you can see it there. And on top of all of that, monthly job growth has slowed all the way down. So it's a depressing outlook on things. These charts are not fun to look at. In summary, people are not quitting their jobs, they're not getting laid off, nobody is getting hired, and no new jobs are being created, all likely because nobody knows what the future holds. And it's very difficult for people to plan a life when there's no stability anywhere, right? There's no growth anywhere. So how are people supposed to grow and progress in their own lives? So Corey Stahl, an economist at the job site Indeed, makes the point that businesses also don't know how long energy prices will remain relatively high, or for those that pay hefty transportation costs, how long those prices will eat into their bottom lines. And Stahl stated, right now, the labor market is being hit from multiple angles. As a business owner, I may be saying, I don't want to go out and hire right now if this war is going to turn into a global recession in the next couple of months. So now workers are clinging to their jobs because the future is unclear. There's a lot of moving parts here. A lot of it was very predictable, right? We saw the way the economy was going, and a lot of people said, including us here at TYT, that it is possible that he would get us into some kind of foreign conflict just so he can make things a little bit better for the Republicans in the midterms. Because if the economy is bad, they're not gonna do so well, he knows that. So if he gets us into a war, then people can say, oh, it's the war's fault. And a lot of MAGA still supports the war in Iran, right? It was reported that 100% of MAGA supports the war in Iran. I don't know how accurate that is, but also the people who identify as MAGA, that number is getting smaller. So it always felt like a move of desperation, whether he was hiding from the bad economy or if he was hiding from the Epstein files or whatever, or if he was just doing whatever Israel wanted him to do. The fact that we're in this war now is not helping anyone, and it's certainly not helping the American people. It's not helping our troops who are over there. It's not helping our bottom line here in the United States. And I hope that it doesn't help the Republicans come midterms.
I mean, I have a hard time believing the economy is going to help the Republicans, the party that's in power, the party that's overseen this disaster come November. And it's important for people to realize that the economy has already been recessed. If you take out the quote unquote AI market, all of those AI related companies and AI related expenditures are the only growth side of the economy. If you take that stuff out, we're in a recession already.
Yeah, we're gonna
Everything
talk
that's
about
not
that in a minute
related to
too.
that, we're in a recession. And also, when you hear these AI dorks talk about why AI is great, it's because they're gonna get rid of a bunch of workers. And so it's not like that's gonna be some great hiring boon. And the other expenditures they're making on AI centers, on data centers, those don't employ people. So that's where the big spending is happening. That's where the quote unquote growth is happening. And that has nothing to do with employment. And so nobody should be shocked by any of this. And then, when you talk about employers not wanting to hire people or being in a hiring freeze, of course, the energy markets don't help when you start an unnecessary, ridiculously disastrous war. And then the tariffs, like that raise costs on so many things. And businesses don't know because of the nature of the way Trump executed it, where it's like, oh, it's on. Oh, it's off. Oh, this leader made fun of me. We're raising it. Oh, this leader, he gave me, he pet my head the other day. We're lowering it. So businesses can't plan for the future under those conditions. And so the hiring freeze is related to that as well. And so I don't think anybody should be shocked by the economy that's been invented by Donald Trump and his horrific regime.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's so frustrating that they keep talking about like, oh, we're about to enter a recession. Like things have been so hard for so long already for millions of Americans across the country. And so for them to talk about like, oh, maybe the recession is coming, like I know the numbers are the numbers, whatever, but like the way that they report it, things are already bad, right? And the only reason why things are not completely disastrous is because of this Ponzi scheme that is holding up our entire economy. And there's no plan. There's no way forward for the American people. They are putting everything they have into AI, into this burgeoning industry. They're saying, you're a dork if you don't get on board with AI, even though there is no actual intrinsic value within AI right now, right? People are investing so much money into it and they're not getting anything back for it yet. It's to be determined if they ever will get anything back for it. And even if they do, again, that's only going to increase or widen the wealth gap in this country and possibly around the world. They're taking jobs from people and there's no jobs to replace the jobs that have been lost. Prices continue to go up and they're not gonna come back down. Like they're just not, right? The only way for things to get better is if they start paying workers more. They're not doing that. They're not even giving people jobs anymore. And I'm sorry that this is all so dire, but it's like, what are we doing? What are we talking about? And the tech bros, they're just doing whatever it is that they wanna do.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.